Yeah.
Tell me what I need to know.
Are we live?
We're live.
We are live.
Welcome, everybody,
Welcome, everybody.
out in Facebook, YouTube land.
I'm not going to do that.
Come on, Rachel. We are FasterFreedom here, going live from the FasterFreedom video room.
Yeah, new media room.
This
It's
is-
pretty awesome.
This is
It is
entertaining,
awesome.
isn't it?
Yeah. Happy to have you guys here with us in the media room.
So we got Brian, Lucas, and Rachel today. Sam is like at home.
At home.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll be posting in there or chatting in there, hopefully.
He was going to join, but he forgot to do his hair today.
All right, so let's just jump right in. Real quick introduction. So we have several businesses here in the St. Louis area, all real estate investment businesses. Thank you for joining us out there. We have a hi Alex. We have a flipping business. What in the flip? We have a flipping business where we buy houses, rehab, and sell them. What the flip? I like that.
Yeah.
We have a rental business where we own, somewhere around 250 rentals.
Yep, we manage
altogether.
about 250 rentals. I own about half of them. You own about half.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's good. And then we have a lending business, hard money lending, where we lend money to other rehabbers and landlords here in St. Louis. We have a traditional brokerage where Matt is just rocking it. Holy
Yes.
smokes.
Yeah, Matt Becker
Kicking it.
with Magnolia Real Estate. If you're looking to buy or sell a house, they're awesome.
They're freaking rocking. And then we have this education gig. So this is going to be a fun one today.
Yeah, that's what FasterFreedom is. You know, it's our education gig. We got a meetup, a monthly meetup, where we actually, you and I are talking this coming week, Thursday, Water's Edge Banquet Center at 6 p.m.
Yeah,
Yes.
a week from today, right?
A
Yes,
A week from today. That's
It's coming
exciting.
up fast.
So better get on that presentation.
It'll be good, I know.
So we have that. We have webinars, we have boot camps, and we have these live streams that help educate you guys. So that's what we're here for. If you have any questions, anything real estate related, put it in the comments, and please share and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Awesome. So yeah, looking forward to the questions today. So
Jen, and happy birthday.
happy birthday,
Happy
Jen.
birthday, Jen.
That's exciting. Thanks for joining us.
FasterFreedom says, do you have hair, Lucas? I bet that's Sam. And the answer is no.
I almost touched your head, and I decided against it.
Might be a little oily. fresh Bic this morning.
Oh, I got some thoughts, but I should probably keep them to myself.
Yep.
Please
All
take
right. So how's business been this week? How leads? I know Sam usually does that, but you're pretty good with what's going on with the leads.
Yeah, Sam gets our leads coming in. So he runs our marketing, and we're up to 24 leads the past 7 days, which is a good number for us. We want to stick around that 80 to 120 quality leads, and we got 24 this week, so that's great. Out of those 24, maybe not those exact 24, but we also purchased 6 houses this past week in the past 7 days. Great week. Sales are a little down for us, but I think that's just a random week because sales are going to come back up next week.
And I don't know if this includes those 6, but I got 2 emails like within the last hour that we bought 2 houses in the last hour.
Yeah.
That does not include those 6. So
All right.
2 today.
Those are for next week, huh?
Yep, exactly.
Good. And sales been
Sales been good. I mean, besides this week, we sold 2, which is lower than the 6. We like to keep those about the same, but that'll balance back out here soon.
yeah. Lending's been doing pretty good too. We're doing about 3 loans a week. We're shooting for 6, which we had a few weeks there where we were doing 6 loans, but last couple of weeks think we've been closer to 3. Traditional listings is going great.
Yeah, the market's on fire.
It is on fire. We'll talk a little bit more about that here.
With Rachel especially.
But let's just jump right in.
Real quick on rentals.
Yeah, rentals.
Rentals are hot. It's a good business to be in. Rents are up. So rents are strong in a lot of areas. And also we're at 100% occupancy. So maybe one move out recently, but good time to be in rentals.
Rents have been great. Rentals have been great. Hopefully it stays that way. Excited about the rental business. Little concerned about, I don't know, Debbie told me that I knew the sheriff in the St. Louis city's not doing any evictions, but I heard the sheriff's department's not doing evictions in St. Louis County.
No, we've had one sitting in progress, waiting for the writ to be executed, and we can't get the sheriff to execute the writ.
Yeah, that's a little concerning.
Yeah, it is.
Other than that, rentals is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Dustin Hoke says lending is getting back up to 6.
Yeah.
We will be back. I know it. Absolutely. Dustin's a rock star bringing in loans.
And Blake said, you guys recommend a cold calling service? A little bit off topic, but
Question.
Love it.
it depends, honestly. We did some cold calling.
So we have Call Porter, who they're one of our trusted vendors. Yates can put their info in the comments.
They're more of an inbound call service, I believe. So if you need a call center, correct?
They have been doing outbound too,
They
but
have.
I'm not sure if they currently are.
Okay.
Call Porter is somebody to reach out to.
Okay.
I don't know for sure if they're doing outbound right now or not.
Okay.
See if they can help you out.
Do you know any other outbound companies that you can hire? I mean, we kind of do it in-house stuff, but I know other people do, but I don't know if any companies out there. I'm sure there are. I just don't know who they are. Don't have personal experience.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm back.
Okay.
Where are you going?
All right. All right.
So, we ready to jump on into the Rachel story, or we got any other-
Absolutely.
All
Let's
right.
do it. I'm back.
Yes.
Good. And sorry I didn't have more information for you on outbound call and cold calling services. If we find out about anything, we'll throw it in the comments there. Or if anybody else out there has got a cold calling service that they've used, throw it in the comments there. An outbound one, right? That's what you're looking for, I believe, is an outbound cold calling service. But today's show is all about Rachel. So I think we should introduce Rachel and tell everybody. So Rachel, you have been rehabbing houses kind of on the side, but maybe tell everybody about what's your full-time gig, because you're just a part-time rehabber, right?
Yes. So my full-time gig, I work here at Faster House. I have pretty much 3 main roles. So my first role is I work in the education business. I do a lot of the operations, behind the scene things. So that is what I do for education. And then for the flipping team, I'm what we call the business and systems analyst. So I work with our CRM, Podio, and I also do all of our marketing analytics, anything data related and systems process related. And then my last thing that I do is I'm our ambassador of fun, which is a super exciting title. So I plan all of our fun events. We do 4 quarterly events, and then all of our birthday celebrations. Like today we have a potluck that we're putting on. So I try to manage all of that for the office.
Nice.
Very good. You are fun. So you're the right person for that.
Thank you.
You are fun.
Thank you. I have a committee that I run for
Fun
the fun
committee.
committee.
Very cool.
Yes.
Cool, but kind of the topic of the meeting today is kind of around maybe a newbie flipper, a newbie rehabber. So how many rehabs have you done at this point?
I've done 3.
Awesome.
And one has been your personal home?
Yeah.
And then 2 investing type flips?
Technically, it depends on how you want to qualify them. You could maybe say 2 personal. One was supposed
Good
to be
point.
a flip, and then 1 true flip.
Gotcha.
So just to clarify that a little bit,
Yeah.
the first one you did, you bought, you rehabbed, and you moved into it.
Correct.
And then while you were living there, you bought a house with you partnered with your sister to buy a house, rehab it, and resell it.
Correct.
And then the third one is you bought a house, you're rehabbing it, and you're going to sell your first one and move into this one.
Yes. The original plan was just to flip the last one. It wasn't to move into it. It was just to rehab it and sell it.
And we'll get into those details on those houses soon. But Alex asked, what got you into real estate and, working with Faster House?
Good question,
Good
Alex.
question, Alex. So part of the reason I got into real estate is because Brian is actually my stepdad. And I've watched him and my mom grow their rental portfolio, grow Faster House, and it intrigued me, but honestly not something I really wanted to get much into. At the beginning, I went to college and got my degree in exercise science. I had no interest in real estate whatsoever.
So you're a scientist.
No.
Is that how that works?
No.
Okay.
So that was my plan. Decided I didn't want more schooling, and I felt like I needed that to do anything in that degree. I worked on a horse ranch for right around a year. Decided that wasn't what I wanted to do long term either. So I got offered a job at Faster House to do contract to close. And through that job, watching and learning at Faster House and watching things on my own, I got really excited about real estate, and it got me really interested, wanting to do more.
Very cool. Good question, Alex.
Awesome. Appreciate that. That actually fit very well into what we're talking about today. So that's awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about, so your very first house that you bought was on Ridgeview.
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell us a little story about that? Like how you found the deal, how long ago that was?
Maybe where you were living at the time before you found the
Yes.
deal.
Yeah. So I, at the time, was living with my sister, and I lived there for about maybe 6 to 7 months, and I really enjoyed living with my sister, but I was ready to be on my own. And so Brian actually found a house one day, and from a real estate agent, and we went and walked the house. The house had I don't know, it's on a 1/2 acre lot. It looked like a jungle. You couldn't even see in the backyard. You walk into the basement and it's got about a foot of water in the basement.
Not ideal for you newbies out there.
Is that your house that I was walking down the stairs and I walked right into that water? I forgot
Yeah,
about
it
that.
was.
It was clear.
Yeah.
You couldn't see that there was water there, either, or I wasn't paying
I
attention.
don't know.
At least it was clear.
It was. And I thought about it, and I really liked that it had a big backyard, because that's something, it was on a 1/2 acre lot, and it had these like cute arches in the doorway. So I said, well, let's do it. It's a small 2-bed, 1-bath house, less than 800 square feet. So that house I decided to buy and rehab. It was 4 years ago. I think it was 2017. When we bought it.
Okay.
So,
What'd you buy it for?
bought it. So the original purchase price was, I think, 86,000, something along there, and then rehabbed it, and then actually bought it. I tied in the rehab cost and the initial loan for 109,000.
So about $23,000 worth of rehab or so.
Yeah.
And did you do that rehab while you guys were living there? Did you move in first?
No, rehabbed it first. It was not livable with the foot of water in the basement. It had ugly, nasty carpet. It was there was like a bright yellow kitchen cabinets, terrible, funky layout too. So rehabbed it first.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can we pull up photos?
Yeah. Well, I only have new pictures.
That's all right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all right. We'll just bring up new pictures, but you can kind of describe the previous, before and after to a certain
Yeah.
extent.
Yep, I can do that.
Awesome. So you want to talk through the rehab process just a little bit, how you
Yeah.
did it? Because this was before you were married. I'll get into your husband here in a little bit, but before you were married.
Yep. So this was all on my own, and I'm a doer. I really like to do stuff on my own. And so the reason I was super excited about this house is it had a lot of things that I could really work on. I'm trying to get out of this. It's not loading.
Working on it.
So if it loads it, I'll talk through it anyway. So when you see the front of the house, in the backyard, you literally couldn't see the backyard. There were so many honeysuckle bushes. It felt like a little bit like a jungle. Trees were covering over top of the house. They were super overgrown. If any big storm came through, I was terrified that it was gonna take out the house.
Yeah.
So we cleared out the backyard, cleared out the trees over top, so that my now husband, he actually came into town. He was living in Oklahoma, and he actually cleared out all of the landscaping, and then we got a wood chipper to cut it all up because it was a huge pile. And so I actually remember, so we went, borrowed a truck from someone, went and got the wood chipper. We pulled it around back, and the wood chipper thing. It was great. Well, then Brian decided to pull it down to the bottom part of the yard. Let me see if I can scroll down to that picture.
I forgot about this.
So you can see, so this is the yard. You can see the house kind of up here. It might be blurry on your screen, so I apologize about that. But anyway, so Brian actually got it stuck in my backyard in my like brand new house. And I had to make friends with the neighbors, and luckily I like to talk with people. And one guy had a Jeep, and he was able to pull us out. So a Jeep pulled out a truck and a wood chipper.
I was impressed with that Jeep. That was a nice 4-wheel drive Jeep, and that's a beautiful backyard. And holy smokes, if you can imagine how different it was when you first bought it, it was totally overgrown back there.
Yes. Let me see if I can try to get it to show one more time.
So I want to know how you got rid of that foot of water in the basement and what you did to remedy that to stop coming in again.
So let's see. So the foundation is cinder block, and it actually just had a bunch of roots and lime. So we got those. We had it cabled, and then we put in a sump pump too, just to make sure we were going to be safe and secure long term. We had a tuck pointer come out, and he tuck pointed. There were a few cracks and stuff, nothing major or anything. So he just tuck pointed it up, and then dry locked the basement. So
nice.
Yeah, it's been good ever since. So
what other challenges do you have with this rehab?
So
it's a cute house.
It is.
Yeah. So I don't want to click on the picture, so I apologize. They're a little small, but this kitchen, it was pretty small. So really making sure that I figured out something that worked. Before they had the stove like awkwardly jutting out here.
So kitchen layout was a big challenge.
Yep, just making sure it was functional.
Yeah.
But I did the tile myself in this
Nice.
kitchen, which was a lot of fun.
Any pops? Any pops? Or did you do it right? Like, did the grout pop anywhere?
No, I'm
Yes.
a pro. So this
You are
is like
pro. Mine would've popped.
my second or third time doing tile, and I had my uncle come out and he helped me.
Very cool.
I think the challenge with this house was actually balancing work and working on the project. I remember one day I thought, I'm going to go work on this house, and I did not have time to work on the house. I was super busy at work. Brian got really mad at me because I was working on the house and not at work. So that was a little bit of a learning curve for me, honestly, being able to balance getting the work done, moving it along, and also doing my full-time day job. But otherwise, the house was pretty clean and simple to do. It had hardwoods under their carpet, so we refinished those, paint. I did have a little bit of trouble working with contractors. I feel like they were saying they spent time there and billing me for hours that I saw no work being done.
Yeah.
And I was super new, never done a rehab before. So I had no idea to question them or not. And I'm a little bit more of a passive person. So being direct is not my forte. So I kind of just kept paying them and probably overpaid my contractors, honestly.
That's a great nugget for any newbies out there. Honestly, anybody. And whatever stage of rehabbing that you're at in your career, you got to stay on your contractors. You got to be an awesome project manager and, at least visit the house.
Yeah.
She might have been there a little too much for Brian in her day job, but get to that house, walk through with your contractors, stay on top of them, make sure they're doing what they say they're going to be doing.
And hold them accountable, because like even the painter, he did a decent job, but like by the time I moved in, I realized that there was a lot of spots that he missed, or he needed to do texture, and he textured like 3/4 of a wall and not 1/4. So before we went to sell the house, we had to fix those issues that the original painter didn't do.
And FasterFreedom does not believe that you're passive. So
I would say that's Sam.
You've obviously learned a lot from that experience, which is great.
I don't remember. Can you talk through how you financed that deal on the front end and on the back end?
Well, the front end, I actually didn't purchase it.
The company?
The company,
rehabbed it?
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then, but I purchased it. I went through First State Bank in St. Charles, talked to a mortgage broker, and he walked through everything with me.
I got you. So basically what we did, and I had forgotten about this, honestly, but basically the company partnered with you originally.
Yeah.
You rehabbed
Well, I
it.
partnered with the company.
Yeah. Yes, whatever. Either way. So you rehabbed it with the...
I was the general contractor, essentially, on the deal.
And then you bought it from the company after it was rehabbed.
Correct.
So...
Yeah.
That's cool. That's super cool.
You guys essentially finance it. The company financed it on the front end just to get me through it.
Awesome. So then you got it into your own name, and you got a 30-year fixed mortgage on it.
30-year fixed. I put 20% down because I was, So I had good equity in the house. So
absolutely. All right, so let's kind of should we move on to the next deal?
Yeah. So while you were living in this house, you decided you wanted to do an investment rehab on your own.
Correct.
Cool. So that would be the Westminster house.
Yes.
Westminster. Tell us about Westminster.
So Westminster, this is the deal that I partnered with my sister on. So she actually found the deal. She got it from Corey in her office. She went on the deal. She negotiated the deal. And she called me up and she said, Rachel, I've got this deal under contract. Do you want to partner with me on it? And I said, I think so. That's not it.
Sure.
And so I went and walked the house. At this point I'm married. And I think we had just had Tiago at this point. So that's my son. I had him, I don't know, a couple months prior. I was still on maternity leave when we found the house, I believe. And it's a nice house. It's literally 2 blocks from my house. So that house that we just talked about on Ridgeview, it's 2 blocks from there. So you really can't get better in terms of location when you're looking for rehabs, because that is important to us, where we don't have to spend an hour driving to and from every day to a rehab.
Yeah. So kind of talk us through how much you paid for that one, kind of how the rehab went, and how well it, it's different than a rehab where you're buying it to move into it. How that's different.
Yeah. So this one was different, especially with a partner. We made sure with Suzanne, we really worked out every detail that we were going to do with the partnership. We paid, I think, $140 for the house, $150, something like that. I don't really remember.
You're not really a numbers person.
I'm
You're
not.
I bet Suzanne knows.
She would know.
Somewhere in the 140 to 150 range.
Somewhere in that, and it was about a $50,000 rehab, and we actually went over budget on that, and I think it was like a $60,000, $70,000 rehab, something along those lines. But for that rehab, we were working. So we decided, my husband's a contractor, so he did half of the work, but he was still working a full-time job, just like Suzanne and I were. And so he was working nights and weekends, and I was working nights and weekends with him. And it was a blast. Like I said, I love getting to do work myself. I love being hands-on in the rehab process. So that stuff really excites me. So we were, cleaning it out, doing the demo, putting in floors, paint, but we had to hire out half of the work. So we hired a contractor, and he did some of the bigger things that we thought we were never going to be able to get to in a timely fashion. Because I know that with flips, time is money. And if you're not efficient, it's not worth it. You're going to just lose money. So the biggest learning lesson I had on Westminster is, again, managing your contractors, because we paid that contractor so much money, but he bought the materials himself, and he would buy like the most expensive paint roller. And so.
And he put it on your bill?
Yeah, and then he'd throw it away. So it's not like he even kept it. And so I learned that if we just buy the materials ourselves and do it ahead of time, then that saves us so much money. And then we get the discounts long-term and not him.
Yeah, and you did time and materials with that contractor rather than a firm fixed price bid.
Yeah, exactly.
That's something to always consider. If you're doing time and materials, just make sure you're really watching them very closely. And probably the preferred method with if you're new to the business is probably a fixed price bid, I would say.
Yeah. And if you are new, more than likely you're not going to have the time to really dedicate to these projects as much as you really need to, as if it was your full-time job. So when someone says, hey, I'll get all the materials, that sounds really appealing to you.
It does.
Because it saves a lot of time. But we've recently changed our model, Faster House has, and started sourcing all our materials ourselves and have them at the house lined up for the contractor to do what they do best, not find materials.
Yep, exactly.
Cool.
So how did it end up?
So that house, I think we ended up netting about 20 grand, maybe 25 grand or so total. And then that was split 50-50. So 12 to 15.
It's a learning experience. You made a little bit of money.
Didn't make a whole lot of money, but it was an awesome learning experience. Had a lot of fun. The partnership for us worked out really well with working with my sister, because we wrote everything out. We really had put together a good plan, and we were flexible when we realized we missed things. So overall, that was a great experience. But I knew after that experience that if we were going to do another flip, and when we did another flip, that it was going to have to be Louise's full-time job, because we could not do that.
You didn't want to deal with the contractor issue again.
We didn't want to deal with the contractor issue, and also we had no free time to really spend
free
with
time,
our
I
son,
gotcha.
spend as a family together. So, yeah.
And if I remember right, you listed that house, and what did it take? A couple months to sell?
It did. We listed it high. We listed it at 250, and I think we sold it at 238.
So maybe that's another learning lesson as well. You know, no matter what the rehab ends up looking like, you still got to stick to your number and what you think that house could actually sell for.
Yep.
Price that thing right, especially in today's market, and it'll fly off the shelf.
For sure.
Before we get to the next house.
All right, let's do it.
There's a whole other house that Rachel's going to talk about. But yeah, this is FasterFreedom. This is our LiveCast, I think we call it now. Thursdays at 11:30 we do these. So please comment any questions that you guys have. Please share this on Facebook, and please subscribe if you're on YouTube.
Yeah.
A couple questions you want to get to real quick.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, this is awesome. Going to buy my first rental
That
this
is
year in the
awesome.
Tulsa area.
Congratulations.
That's
That's awesome.
And then
Love our rentals.
yeah,
Yes.
and Tulsa is probably not a super different market than
Yeah,
St. Louis,
well,
honestly.
I
Similar
agree.
size, a little smaller. But do you self-manage your properties? Yes, we do.
We manage them all in-house. All right. So the house you just recently bought. So
Yep.
what? How long was it? About a month ago? 2 months ago? Or I lose track of time. Maybe it's longer than you.
Yeah. We bought it at we bought it on my birthday, June 24th.
Nice.
So we got that house. We found that house from Dennis, and
A wholesaler, basically, in the
wholesaler.
office.
Yep, a wholesaler in the office. And so he got this house under contract, and basically the homeowners wanted 150 for the house at least. And Dennis wanted to know, he knew that I was super interested in this house. So he said, "What are you going to pay for it?" And I said, well, so I did my math. I figured out my rehab budget, and the way I figured out my rehab budget is not how I should have done it. I just kind of guesstimated, and I used no form, no real. I just kind of went with a gut instinct, and I said, all right, it's going to be 32,000.
Wow, that's a pretty specific gut instinct.
I did, yes. Yep.
Do you want to
So
show a picture of that house?
Yeah. Yeah, so I will show you what that house looks like. I'll show you just the front of the house. So here's what this house looks like. It's called Cottonwood. So it's a super nice brick house. Got a little covered patio out front. We got rid of these bushes. Don't worry. I know they're ugly.
Yeah, this is before pictures
this is
because it's not a
before.
final product yet.
Yep. So if you want to see what the house actually looked like, Gates can put in a comment on the first YouTube video. Oh, look, he already did. He's a pro. So anyway, so you can check that out if you want to kind of see what the house looked like to begin with.
Yeah, Rachel and Sam did a YouTube video at this house and on her game plan to rehab this thing. So check that out in the here. Where is that thing? Right here? Is this it? Awesome. Right there and there. Check that out. That's a pretty sweet video.
Comment.
Awesome.
So this house, we said we could pay, I think we said, did we buy it at 162? I'm really good
Something
at
like
these
that.
numbers. 162 to 168. I can't remember the exact.
I think it was 162 because we bought it for 150.
Yes, perfect. So anyway, so then Dennis was able to back into his number, which worked out really well just because these people, no one else was going to be able to do a rehab. I shouldn't say no one else, but we were one of very few people who could get this rehab done for $32,000. It's a little less than 2,000 square feet, needed all new everything, all cosmetic rehab. The big things were totally fine, but cosmetic rehab. So I know because we're doing the work ourselves that we can get it done a lot cheaper. Now, if I would have done my rehab number the right way to begin with and really took out a spreadsheet that gave me real numbers, I came up with 37,000.
That's not far off.
Not too
Pretty
bad, but
close.
it is. It's
So you think you're going to get your
$5,000. I was
rehab done
bummed.
for 37?
Yes, that's what we're
Nice.
on track to do right now. So
That's pretty good.
And
Yeah.
you talked about doing a lot of your own work yourself, and that's different from your last rehab that
Yes.
you did. So can you talk about how that kind of transpired?
Yep. So we loved this house. It's also 5 minutes from our house that we live in. So we really like buying in this tight little bubble because it keeps us close. And so we were thinking, so back up a minute. So numbers bought at 162, thought rehab was 32, projected ARV is 260-ish. And so we knew that Louise, my husband, was going to have to become full-time working on this house because I need to be able to still do my job. And we have a 1.5-year-old who we need to take care of and have a life at home.
Yeah.
And so he does that. He has a sidekick who's helping him doing all the,
Tiago has a sidekick, or
Louise has a sidekick. So he's got someone helping him at the house. So there's 2 of them there every single day, or 5 to 6 days out of the week.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're doing everything ourselves except for windows and the patio in the front. It's cracked and sinking. So we were paying someone else to do that as well.
So somewhere in the process of, I don't know, buying it, or after you started rehabbing it, you decided that you're going to actually move into this house rather than just rehab it and resell it.
Yep.
Yes.
How did you make that decision, and kind of how'd that come about?
So we decided, Brian actually from day one really liked this house and was kind of on me to buy it. And we said, no. And my sister was like, Rachel, really, you should look at the numbers and see how it's going to turn out for you. And so we decided, I ran basically an analysis on the comparison if we were to sell our personal house now and move into Cottonwood and sell it long term, or if we were to just sell Cottonwood, this new house, as a regular flip. And basically, because we have lived in our personal house for more than 2 years, we get to sell it and get tax-free money.
All the profits from your personal house, as long as you've lived there for at least 2 years, don't
have to pay taxes.
Yeah, that's a huge benefit.
And the same will happen with this new house. We won't have to pay taxes on it because we'll live here for more than 2 years. So in the long term, we end up making an extra 18 grand net because we're moving into this house.
Yeah.
So that to us, we're like, well, shoot, this is a no-brainer. I mean, you can't. Who's going to turn down an extra 18 grand by moving into a bigger, better house than we're living in now?
Not only bigger, maybe 3 times as big.
Yeah. it's a nice house.
It's huge. 2-car garage, rear entry, and a nice neighborhood.
Are you going to leave the mustard yellow?
It's already gone.
Okay.
That whole bathroom has been gutted and is replaced.
Just wondering.
So sorry to burst your bubble. We get
what about pink carpet? Is that going
no
too?
carpet?
Ooh.
It's all vinyl. Well, no, that's not true. We have vinyl plank in the bedrooms. We have great carpet that was actually put in yesterday.
What about this bathroom?
This bathroom we've totally changed. We've got a double vanity going in, a walk-in
Nice.
shower.
So this is the master bathroom here?
Yes, it's over double the size from what it is. In
So
that
how did you make it? How did you double the size of the master bathroom?
we took out a second closet.
Yeah. So there was a second. The master bathroom
There we
had
go.
2 closets in it.
Mhm.
So you thought one is enough for you guys,
Yeah.
but you would prefer to have the larger bathroom.
We wanted the
Yeah.
larger bathroom. So,
So did you tile those walls or something?
well, that
Is that an
shower's
intercom
gone.
system?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was an older person
Okay.
living there, so if they fell, they needed help.
That makes sense, actually.
Yep. And so that shower's gone and pushed back, but we tiled both of the showers.
Very
so.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so you're in the middle of the process of rehabbing this Cottonwood house, which is
Yep.
a beautiful house. You guys are going to love that house. So you put your house up for sale, the house that you were living in on Ridgeview, that your original rehab.
Yes.
You put it on the market, I think, last Thursday?
Last Thursday, we put the house on the market for $150. So there is no house and has been no house that is recently rehabbed with that small of a house, and really just in that 150 range. So we listed it for 150. We didn't have showings till Friday since we're still living there. So we're still staying in that house. We went away for the weekend. So we started showings Friday. We had, I think, 15 showings that day. We got 5 offers by 10:30 that night. And we took an offer for 11 grand and some change over asking. So
Wow.
161.
So, wow, that's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
The market is just hot right now.
I mean, it was so fun. I mean, like, Dennis, our real estate agent, I was calling him. We were calling and texting each other back and forth. And we're like, oh my gosh, did you see how many more things we've got? And it was, I mean, it's a fun market, but a little scary. I'm not going to lie.
It is a little.
Dennis was taking calls from agents. They were like, hey, I'm going to submit a full price offer. And he was like, don't even bother. Because this thing's going for 10 plus over asking.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Alex says you need more bedrooms in your new house for friends to visit.
Yes, Alex is one of my friends, and she will love to not have to sleep on the floor anymore.
Very cool. And do we want to get to the next question here? It's a good question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, Rachel,
Think about it.
What was the most challenging thing you faced in real estate, and how did you learn to overcome it?
I think the most challenging thing for me is overcoming how passive I am and how indirect I like to be. I'm such a people pleaser. So I love making people happy and doing whatever I can for them. And so to me, whenever I have issues or struggles with contractors or even offering on houses, I want to be like, I'm going to give you the best deal and try to make you the most money. And I tend to not think about myself as much, and that hurts me long term. So it does nothing for me. So really learning to be more direct. I know that I've learned that it helps not only me, but it helps that person as well. So overcoming my passiveness, I'd say.
Well said.
Very well said.
Anita. So Anita is Sam's mother-in-law, actually, and she has a question, a really good question. Brian, you talked about living in a house for 2 years, don't have to pay taxes on the profits when you sell. Is that a one-time benefit, or can you keep doing that?
You can just keep on doing that until they change the tax laws. But as long as they don't change the tax laws, you can do that every 2 years.
Or until you run out of 2 years.
Yeah, that too. I guess that's come up.
Because that's our plan on Cottonwood too, is so we only plan on living in this house for 3 years and then we're moving again.
That's Rachel's plan. My plan is that she lives there for the next 20 years, or at
That
least
is
10.
Not going to happen.
It could. The house is awesome.
It's a beautiful house. And it's like 5 minutes from my house.
Mhm.
Very
And it's
cool.
got a great backyard with a basketball court that I'm excited about.
It has an okay backyard.
I mean, how many houses have basketball courts?
That's right.
Pretty
It's
cool.
true. Yeah.
So, Rachel, I got a question for you. So, have you ever been over at Cottonwood, like at night when everybody's gone or whatever, and you just kind of think, holy smokes, I'm moving into a house that's worth $275,000 and you're 26 years old and you're going, geez, how did this happen to me? You ever thought of like that?
It is crazy. I feel extremely blessed, but also I feel really good about the people that I've surrounded myself with to be able to get to this point. Because without being around all of these awesome, smart people, I would never have even thought that I could do this. It wouldn't even be a possibility in my mind that you could do these sorts of things at 26 years old. So it is an incredible feeling. And like looking at the new house we're going to move into, we're going to have like this super awesome kitchen. It's got a 6-foot island. Got my double vanity that I've like dreamed about. So it is just an amazing
We have
feeling.
different dreams, Rachel. Well, no, never mind. Moving on. Oh, but what I also think is cool is not only do you have a $275,000 house here shortly when it's all finished, you know, the way you structured this, buying this at a
I don't
discount.
have to put any money down.
Yeah, you don't have to pay $1 out of your own pocket.
And you're going to have a lot of
I get-
equity in the house.
I'm essentially borrowing on my personal house because I get to take, because we're taking out all of the rehab funds, putting it right back into my pocket. I don't think, unless, depending on how the appraisal comes back, we might have to put in a couple grand, but that is nothing compared to truly like to buying a $275,000 house and putting in 20%.
Yeah,
So,
you just save yourself, you know, geez, 50 grand.
yep.
So unbelievable. Here's a
You've
pretty
done
good-
an incredible job. I'm very impressed.
Me too.
Thank you.
Everybody's here is impressed. Good work, Rach. Now on to that next one, right?
Yeah.
Number
so excited.
4. Rehab number 4 is coming up
Yep,
soon.
it is.
So this is the person in Tulsa, I believe. What should I worry about first? Finding a good deal on a house or finding a good contractor? To me, it's just get involved with your local investment groups and getting those connections, and whether it's the connections to buy the house or rehab the house, all those people that you need are at your local meetups or on your local Facebook group pages. So get on those, get involved. But to me, it's hard for a contractor to take you serious unless you got a house under contract.
Yeah.
So get a house under contract after you do all your education and networking, and then you hopefully got a 3-4 week closing, and then start really lining up contractors, and they'll take you serious because you got a house for them to rehab.
Yeah.
Well said.
I agree.
All right, guys. Anything else we want to hit on before we get out of here today?
Sounds like Jen Barr has the same boundary issues that you have,
Yes.
Rachel. So good feedback, Jen. A lot of people out there. I hope you all learned something from that. What Rachel said there, it's very true.
Yeah.
Yes, that was awesome. Well said. So this was our live cast on Thursdays at 11:30 on Facebook and YouTube Live. We're going to be here next Thursday at 11:30. So don't know who the guest is, but hopefully it's someone as awesome as Rachel. It's going to be tough, though. It's going to be
I
tough.
don't know. We'll see.
But thanks for everybody for joining. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.